Hello and welcome to the Calmcast, a time to feel calm and think clearly. I'm Claire Downham, the Queen of Calm, a transformational life coach. I was a burnt out head teacher who finally made the journey to calm after years of trying, and I want to prevent you from having to do the same. The Calmcast is a series of short explorations, gently guiding you back to your natural state, which is calm and clarity. Just listen like you would listen to music, with an open mind and curiosity. There's nothing else to do. Now let's relax into today's episode. So today I am talking about workaholism, which is, that word is just a total mouthful in itself, isn't it? Because today, apparently in America, there is a day of, not a day of celebration, because I'm fairly sure nobody anywhere is celebrating workaholism, but a day of awareness, I guess, is the best way to talk about it. And I thought it was a lovely opportunity to talk about workaholism because it's rife, isn't it? I don't know if you've noticed. Maybe you've noticed it in yourself, or maybe you've noticed it in other people. But working to the point sometimes of, I hate to say this, but to the point of death sometimes, is something that is happening in our world. In fact, I can't remember the word, but I think in Japan they have a word for it, for the concept of dying because of working too hard. I wish I could remember the word. I might pop it when I go back into the comments later. I might pop the word there. But there's an actual word for being killed by working too hard. Now, we could, as I started to kind of, because I only realised this was a particular day. Last night I was actually at a networking event, and somebody mentioned that today in the US, it is National Workaholics Day. And apparently it's something to do with the fact that yesterday was Independence Day in America, and people who didn't have the day off yesterday are kind of pointed towards on the 5th because they didn't have the day off yesterday, and they are the ones who didn't have the day off because they are workaholics, of course. So then the 5th is about looking in that direction and saying, hang on a minute, maybe you should have had the day off. So what is workaholism? Well, it kind of fits with all the other isms, really. It might look different, but it's working to it's a compulsion to work and work and work and work, way beyond what's probably good for you physically, to the point where, people work more hours than is healthy, don't look after themselves, maybe don't eat properly, probably don't get any exercise, and just are working. And those of you that have been following me for a while will know that I was a primary school head teacher until 2015, when I burnt out. And I suspect workaholism had been around, or work being a big part of my life had been around for quite a long time by that point. It wasn't just to do with work why I burnt out. That's a whole other story for another day. But the fact that workaholism has that ism on the end of it is because it is an addiction, like many other addictions. Now, there is, some science that points towards some things being chemically addictive, like alcohol and cigarettes and drugs and other things. However, there's an awful lot of things that are, I guess, what you might call habitually addictive. And I would say workaholism is one of those things, where it looks like our feelings are coming from the outside world. Like, that's fundamentally it, isn't it? The reason why we might keep doing something despite it not being good for our physical bodies is generally because we think we're going to get another feeling, a different feeling, a better feeling probably, or eliminate a feeling we don't like. And that's really the nature of being human, actually, is that as human beings, we want to feel good. It's a driving force within us. And I think that's maybe because, and it looks like a good idea to feel good, because of course there will have in the past been a real purpose to that. So, eating to the point of being satiated. It's a word like workaholism, isn't it? Gets stuck in your tongue. That the idea of eating and feeling full, and that feels good, doesn't it, in your body? Reproducing feels good. It's a bit early to say reproducing. Anyway, I've done it now. So, that feels good. Being warm and dry and safe is feels good. So there are all these things that feel good, that are good for us. However, what's got in the way is our thinking, because in the animal world, all the other animals are doing that, aren't they? Like if you look at other mammals, they're eating, reproducing, keeping warm and dry in whatever way they do that in their particular species. But we have a different thing going on, and our thing is thinking. And it's our confusion about where our feelings are coming from, what we think about where our feelings are coming from, that's causing the issue. So, and workaholism as a result probably has quite a few drivers, but they're all thought, really. And that is, wanting to work hard to the point at which we have everything that our hearts desire, material things, thinking that when we got to a certain point, a certain bank balance, a certain number of clients, a certain whatever it is, house, car, whatever, that we'll feel amazing, we'll feel okay, we'll feel better. So that can be driving it. It may be around, satisfying our grumpy boss in some way, or trying to avoid being in trouble because we've done everything that we were supposed to do. So but they're all thought. They're all the outside in misunderstanding. The idea that we can attain a feeling, a nice feeling, from the outside world doesn't work that way. So workaholism, like every other addiction, is just a misunderstanding. Which actually, when I say that, I think, oh my goodness, there is a whole world out there of people trying to help people deal with addiction. And it's complicated and it's hard for people. And actually, it's this one misunderstanding. If you're addicted to work, it's because you think your feelings directly come from work or come from the things that you're going to get by working really hard. The money, the trappings that come from working hard, assuming you live long enough to actually enjoy them, which is part of the issue, isn't it? Is that we work so hard that we don't actually ever enjoy those things that we've worked so hard for, which makes no sense when you think about it. So that's what's happening. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. Once you understand that your feelings are coming not from the outside world, but from inside, from thought in the moment, it makes less and less sense to seek those feelings somewhere else. Like, I can be in, like, doing nothing. Like just this morning, or that, that I was present with the sunrise. I'm looking that way because that's where the sun is. But I was present with the sunrise, and that's all I needed. Well, I didn't even need that, but just to be present with something that's happening right now. That feeling, the nice feeling, is available in presence all the time. We don't need to do anything else. We don't need to go anywhere else. The nice feelings are inside you. I I almost just said you can't escape them. You can cover them up with all your thinking. We're all doing that all the time, but you can't escape them. They're who you really are. But of course, whatever we are misunderstanding where those feelings come from, where the nice feelings come from, we will keep working too hard to try and get somewhere, to try and get a different feeling. That's all it is. Now, it's really interesting because I wouldn't say I don't work hard or do a lot of work probably, but none of it's hard. Because it's what's happening in the moment. And in the moment, I have every resource that I could ever need. There's nothing else required. So that's my little pontification on workaholism. I hope you found that helpful today. And enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for listening. There's nothing to do now but bring some awareness to how this is working out in your life. Listen regularly to experience longer and longer periods of calm. This has been the Calmcast with Claire Downham, Queen of Calm. Take care and keep listening.